Welcome students. I am Dr. Aravalli, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of History, Sri Sharda College for Women, Salem. Today we are going to discuss about advent of Europeans.
Introduction. Long before the coming of the European merchant companies to India, the Greeks and Romans used to trade with India, but the weakness and destructions of the Roman Empire and subsequently the rise of the Muslim power led to end of direct trade relations between Europe and India. The Muslims of Egypt and Arabia took over the trade between India and Europe. They used to collect goods from India and hand over them to the European traders in the Mediterranean ports up to Venice and Geneva. The Arab merchants acted merely as intermediaries between the Indian and European traders, and most of the trade was by sea routes.
Advent of European came to India from five countries. First, advent of Portuguese. Second, Dutch. Third, English. Fourth, Danish. Fifth, French.
Why do Europeans need a new sea route to India? Roman Empire declined in the 7th century CE. The Arabs rose their domination in Egypt and Persia in Middle East. Ottoman Turkish became the biggest power by 1453 CE. The Red Sea trade route was a state of monopoly from which Islamic rulers earned tremendous revenue. Rise of Renaissance. Europe, Portugal, and Spain made great advancement in shipbuilding and navigation. Europeans are also getting advancement in crop production, improved plug, increased supply of meat. Venice and Genoa was under the control of Turks. Christian Tom's rule of Portugal resisted the Islamic power. Prince Henry of Portuguese navigator. Abstentions to explore the sea. Circumvent the Muslim domination. Spread Christianity far and wide. Pope Nicholas V gave a bull in 1454 CE. He died without fulfilling his dream. Arrival of the Portuguese in India. 1487, Bartholomew Dias rounded Cape of Good Hope. 1498, Vasco da Gama reached in Calicut with the help of Gujarati Abdul Majid. 1500, Pedro Alvarez Cabral reached in Calicut. 1501, Vasco da Gama came again, got into friendly treaties with Gamarin, established training trading posts at the Gananoor, Calicut, and Cochin in Kerala. The first Portuguese governor of India, Francis de Almeida. Expansion of the Portuguese rule in India. Portuguese king started appointing governors in India. Vasco da Gama reached the port of Calicut in 1498 CE during the reign of King Somarin, Hindu ruler of Calicut. Settlements: Daman, Salsette, Saul, and Bombay, and Saint Thom near Madras, and at Hooghly. Alfonso de Albuquerque, the second governor of India, first being Francisco de Almeida, arrived in 1509 and captured Goa in 1510 CE. Later took revenge to make Portuguese the master of Indian Ocean. Policy was called in Blue Water Policy. Dutch. Next one, advent of Dutch in India. Dutch East India Company was formed in 1602 CE. Dutch were defeated by English at the Battle of Madeira in 1759 CE, and as per agreement, the Dutch gained the control over Indonesia and the British over India, Sri Lanka, and Malaya. Settlements: they set up their first factory at Masulipatnam in 1605 CE. Their other factories were at Pulicat, Sinsura, Patna, Balasur, Nagapatnam, Cochin, Surat, Karaikal, and then Kasim Bazar. Dutch East India Company, first governor of John Peterson Coyen. The advent of English in India. The English East India Company was formed in 1599 under a charter granted by Queen Elizabeth in 1600 CE. Jahangir granted a firman to Captain William Hawkins, permitting the English to erect a factory at Surat in 1613. In 1615, Sir Thomas Roe succeeded in getting an imperial firman to trade and establish factory in all parts of the Mughal Empire by ruler Jahangir, Mughal king. In 1690, a factory was established at Sudhanudi by Chap Charnock. In 1698, following the accusation of zamindari of three villages of Sudhanudi, Calicut, and then Govindapur, the city of Calcutta was founded, for William was set up in 1700. The English East Indian Company, ambassador of William Hawkins. In 1717, John Sherman obtained a firman from Warwickshire, which gave large concessions to the company. This firman has been called the Magna Carta of the company. Battle of Plassey. Battle of Plassey in 1757. English defeated Siraj ud Dowlah, the Nawab of Bengal. Battle of Buxar in the year of 1764. Captain Munro defeated joint forces of Mir Qasim in Bengal and Shah Alam II in Mughal and another one Siraj-ud-Dowla in Awadh. The Carnatic Wars. The Carnatic Wars were a series of military conflicts in the middle of the 18th century in India's coastal Carnatic region, a dependency of Hyderabad state in India. Three Carnatic wars were fought between 1744 and 1763. First one, the First Carnatic War, 1746 to 1748 CE. Second one, Second Carnatic War, 1749 to 1754 CE. Third Carnatic War, and this is the last Carnatic War, 1758 to 1763 CE. The 18th century British sea power matched that of the Dutch, and the European rivalry in India began to take on a military dimension. During the first half of the 18th century, the French, who had begun to operate in India in about 1675 CE, emerged as a serious threat to the growing power and prosperity of the English East India Company. By the middle 18th century, the British and French were at war with each other throughout the world. This rivalry manifested itself in India in a series of conflicts called the Carnatic Wars, which stretched over 20 years and established the British as the primary European power in India. First Carnatic War. From the beginning, the advantage lay with the French. In 1745 CE, the English threatened Pondicherry but failed to capture it. With the help of a fleet from the island of Mauritius, the French general La Bourbonnais captured Madras in 1746 CE, but handed it back to the English on payment of a sum of money. Dupleix, the French governor of Pondicherry, recaptured Madras. Anwaruddin, Nawab of Carnatic, demanded Madras as the promised by Dupleix. Dupleix refused and, with a small force, he defeated a large army led by Anwaruddin. Dupleix' victory made him realize the weaknesses of the Indian army. The English possessions in the south were reduced to the small port of Saint David. The French were full of pride with victory and the English felt the humiliation of defeat. Second Carnatic War. Muhammad Ali was being besieged at the Krishnapoli by the troops of Sanda Sahib, cited by the French army. The war brought to the force foot Robert Clive, a clerk who had recently accepted a commission in the army. To relieve pressure on Trichinopoli, he marched with a force of 200 European and 300 Indian soldiers and captured Arcot. He held it for 53 days against 3,000 of Sanda Sahib's best troops aided by 150 French soldiers. Trichinopoli was relieved. Finally, the French and all their allies surrendered to Trichinopoli. Third Carnatic War. The, the French general Count Lally arrived in India in 1758 CE. He captured Fort Saint David. He also ordered General Bussy to leave the northern Sarkar and come to his aid. This was a blunder. His departure was a signal for Nizam Salabat Singh to join the English. The French forces in the Carnatic were defeated. Lally was defeated at Bandavash in 1760 by the great English general Sir Eyre Goote. It was a decisive battle. Within a year, the French had lost all its possessions in India. Results of the Anglo-French Wars or Carnatic Wars. Result of the First Carnatic War. Madras was restored to the English. The French tried to influence the other parts of South. The Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle was signed. Second Carnatic War. Result of Second Carnatic War. A civil war broke out in South. A French officer Duplessis seized the opportunity to conclude a secret treaty with Sanda Sahib and Muzaffar Singh. The Treaty of Pondicherry was signed. Third Carnatic War. The result of Third Carnatic War. The Treaty of Paris was signed in 1763 CE. The English now had India totally under their control. The French lost all control over India. The 7-Year War was now completely over. Danish. The Danish East India Company was formed in 1616. The Danish colony Karankubar was established on southern Coromandel coast of India. Settlements Serampur, Bengal and Karankubar, Tamil Nadu sold their settlements to the English in 1845 CE. See the picture. Karankubar Fort. The last advent of European in India, French. The French East India Company was formed by Colbert under State Fortunage in 1664 CE. The first French factory was established at Surat by Francois Caron in 1668 CE. A factory at Masulipatnam was set up in 1669 CE. French were defeated by English in Battle of Vandavashi, 1760 CE. The French East India Company first governor of Francois Caron. The advent of Europeans, the coming of the Europeans companies for trade in India led to rivalry and wars among the European companies and all interference in the internal affairs of the native rulers. and sometimes even the removal of native rulers from power and establishment of the aligned authority. Thank you. The topic is over. Thank you.